So that I don't forget which one I made already, I'm going to make a, I'm going to select Make 2D, and I'm going to do a sublayer. See how all these layers are lined up with each other? They're all very, very separate layers. But the Make 2D all of a sudden made sublayers. Okay? You'd think that it's by itself, but the moment it has a plus sign, that means there are other layers that are dependent on it. So when I click it, I expand them and I see what they are. So I'm going to click it and I'm going to make a sublayer. See? The two pieces of paper together, not this one. I'm going to make a sublayer and I call it text. Okay? And I'm going to change the color to blue so I can differentiate it a little bit. All right. I'm going to make my text current. And I'm going to write just underneath this thing so I can remember what it is, because all my cubes kind of, all the faces kind of look the same. I might get confused. So I'm going to go to top view, and I'm going to go to dimension, and I'm going to do a text block. Okay, starting point of the text block. I want to start it here. What font do you want it? What, all that kind of stuff. Now, if I make it 1 inch thick, 1 inch in height, I can't be able to see it. It's just too small for a real size building on the sheet of paper, right? So I'm just going to make that maybe 3 feet. 36 inches. Okay. No masking. This is fine. And I'm just going to say south. Say okay. There it is. So now I remember this is my south elevation. Okay? And I'm going to keep these guys together for a minute. So next I'm going to go ahead and go back to my 4 squares. Now I'm going to do my east elevation. Right? Was this my south? Yeah. Then I'm going to move to the east. And I'm moving orderly from this guy to this guy to that guy to that guy. You can go counterclockwise if you want, but just make sure that the elevations are next to each other, right? Because this guy turns a corner here, so I'm going to go like that. Don't show the north and the south together. They don't relate, right? That elevation does not relate with that elevation, but this one does relate with this one. So we put them next to each other. All right. So this is east, which would be my right elevation. Yes, so I'm going to say Make 2D, press Enter, and select Objects to Draw, this guy, but then select Right, the tab over here. Then press Enter. Okay, you can keep everything the same, say OK. Let's go back. Did it make it? Yes, it did. Please slide it over. Get it out of the 0, 0. Place it right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and copy this guy over so we can edit the text. Double click on it to change it. Now it would be what? East, right? East elevation. Boom. Alright, so I'm going to keep these guys next to each other, and you guys will do the rest of them. I'm not going to do every single one of them, right? I show you examples of 1 or 2 of them, and you guys can proceed with the rest. Now let me show you how to make, for example, a perspective view. For the perspective view, please be very careful. I say this even to the people in 102, and they still forget. When you're looking at a perspective drawing, please don't look at it from the roof. Do it as though it was you standing in front of the building, and I'm sure you're not taller than the building. I'm sure of it. Right? And I'm sure you're not shorter than the building, so you can't see its belly. Unless you're on a cliff somewhere below it and something, that's possible. But all right. So I want you to rotate your building as much as possible so you can see a little bit of a point pointing down and a little bit of pointing up, right, along this line and that line. Get a little bit closer, okay? Does this look okay? You're going to have to rotate a little bit, try it again. I think it would be, I think it's okay if you can see a little bit of that floor, because I think you're taller than 4 feet, right? See a little bit of the belly of this thing. And don't rotate so that that corner of the block splits the cube half by half. Right? Don't make it in the midpoint. See how this is kind of in the middle of this pink part and that pink part? Try to favor one side versus the other. Okay? So now this is much longer than that. This is way more foreshortened. Right? If you don't like that, then favor the other side. Try to favor this side a little more. Does that make sense? All right. So I think with mine, I'm going to favor the front door, right, from my perspective. And hey, maybe you choose your perspective here. I don't know. Maybe you choose you want to do that. Okay. I'm going to do this on mine because I don't have a window except for this window. Let's go back to the 4 squares. As soon as you selected that, make sure you have nothing at your 0, 0. I'm going to rotate so I don't favor one side versus the other. Okay, so I think I'm going to do this for mine. I have more here than here, which is good. Make 2D. Enter. Let's go ahead and in top view select the whole thing, then highlight the tab, then say OK. Everything should stay the way it is. Say all right. And here's your perspective. You just made a flat perspective of your project. Okay, let's go ahead and grab it and line it up with your stuff. So see how I'm trying to organize my workspace? You have to do the same. You have to be disciplined in how you organize your workspace because, like I said earlier, somebody else, you're working as a team in an office at school, the other person needs to go in and do some of the work, help you out. They need to be able to navigate and know where things are. Okay? So try to stay disciplined like that. I know it runs away from us sometimes, but that's okay. Do I need to copy this over and say perspective? No, I don't want to. I think I know it's a perspective, right? Okay, so I'm going to close that.